There should be. Okay. So, I first want to just thank you, Jonathan, for indulging us. um, we appreciate that you take the time out of your day to come hang out. So that's really
Oh,
we
absolutely no
we
problem.
do admire. As you can see with the SpongeBob bowing. um, I think first of all, how much do you know about the Brash character and Demon Hearts game, so we can establish that?
Right. I'll admit I don't know a whole lot of the whole storyline. I
Mhm.
was given very, very small parts of the script, of just basically Brash's lines that are voiced. Um, and so I basically know that Brash is just a really big jerk.
Yeah. Uh, So, sort of on that, we compiled before you came a description through this voice chat text channel
Mhm.
of Brash, is the way we've understand him.
Oh,
So
okay.
we've got he's spicy, he's rough and
Spicy.
tough, foul mouthed, crunchy,
Yeah.
an asshole with a soft spot for Bright, and cares more than he says or perhaps believes.
Right.
He accepted to become a demon heart in a bad time in his life when he was younger and going to commit suicide for someone that rejected him. He became insanely brave because of his powers in becoming a demon heart. He was recruited by the character Lord Mace to have him in his army. Uh, but when he told Lord Mace that he was a demon heart, he got beaten up, I suppose.
Mhm.
um, Lord Mace wanted to take the heart and eat it so he could have the powers himself, but he managed to survive when Riviera took him and took his heart out, which I think you probably have some lines with that, so maybe a little familiar.
Yeah, I think I might have.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but I do remember some.
Yeah, so he becomes a knight, but also working for Riviera. He's suspected of some really bad things, but there's not a lot of confirmation in the novel
Mhm.
game. Um, Obviously, his behavior is not honorable, but he's obedient to the orders he does receive, and doesn't. If he doesn't like the mission he's involved in, but he's determined to complete it, he has no choice. He won't kill Bright, no matter what she does. So far that
Right.
we've seen.
Yeah.
He has some morals. They're twisted, but there's some there, and he tries to sort of look after other people. And then the last description we have is he's got a crunchy exterior but a soft interior.
Yeah, I would buy that for sure. Yeah, he's kind of got that hard edge to him, and like I said, he's definitely a jerk, but
Hmm.
I think a lot of that is exterior, and I think he's a lot deeper than he lets on. So,
That's fair. That's fair. So we've just got some questions that people have submitted over time.
okay.
We'll probably come back more to about Brash specifically. Not probably, we will. But let's just start at the top of this list that I have. So the first one we have is, how do you make your laugh sound so natural? Or what's your method to create such a natural laugh? And do you think about your favorite jokes?
Ah, well, and I just love to laugh in general. I love humor. I love laughing at funny things. I love making people laugh at funny things. So it's pretty easy for me to just kind of start laughing. I don't even really have to think about something funny. I just kind of, once I can just kind of get myself going, I just find that I just start naturally laughing. Um, I don't know if
That's
it's the
convenient.
whole, yeah, right. Uh, I don't know if it's the whole, laughter is contagious kind of thing. If I can just kind of make myself chuckle about something, I'll just start, and then it'll just go, that kind of thing. So trying to do it with Brash because he's obviously, he's a little bit more rough and kind of that gravelly voice. So,
Mm,
um, to kind of do that, I had to make sure that, my laugh didn't come out because my laugh is a little bit more chirpy and would not sound like Brash at all. So I just that was mostly the hardest part was kind of trying to keep
the
that kind of
gravel in there.
yeah, keeping the gravel and the chuckle and that kind of thing. But it's not too hard for me to just make myself laugh.
Well, I think that's pretty convenient. I feel like we didn't notice any problems in the voice acting, so obviously you're quite good.
Oh, well, thank you. I hope that's the case. I'm sure there
I'm sure
probably.
everyone else will agree. Uh, so we have question 2. Have
Mhm.
you ever well, this is launching right into it. Have you ever voiced 18 plus lines? And the question then says, and where? Maybe not that one.
Inquiring minds wanna know, huh?
They do
Um,
apparently.
you know what? I never have, actually. I've never been, I guess I've just never really been all that comfortable, voicing that kinda stuff, for just personal reasons, I guess,
Mm,
but, um, that's one thing I haven't really ever done. I obviously, I'll do the curse words and some swearing
mhm.
here and there and stuff, but, yeah, I've never done anything overtly, like, sexual or that kinda, not safe for work stuff, so, yeah, that as far as I know, that's not out there. I've never done
It's
anything
not as far as you know.
as far as I know.
I
I've
suppose that
never
takes us sort of to the next question in this list. That's what are the most challenging characters then to voice that you've done so?
um The most challenging ones are ones that, just, don't have a lot of, personality to them. If they're kind of just a dry, boring character, it's hard to, um, to put a lot of life into those. And I guess that's my job as a voice actor is to obviously give them personality, but it just helps when there's kind of a fun voice to go with it, or some kind of an accent or something that that just kind of gives them a little bit more color in their voice. um, and so it just kind of the regular normal characters I find to be the hardest to voice, actually. If that makes any sense. If it's kind of an off the wall goofy character, it's easier to get into that because you can just go off the wall and be goofy, and there's no real, like, that's too much, that needs to be back off a little bit, try and tone it down a little bit, that kind of stuff. So if it's just like a regular run of the mill guy, I think I find myself thinking too much about, like, "Well, what does that sound like?" Or should that sound? And really, it shouldn't sound like anything. It should just sound like a guy talking, and that's kind of boring. So,
What even really is a normal voice person?
that's true. What is normal?
So it's just kind of a lack of direction, I suppose.
Right. And what I mean by, I guess, just a normal voice is just kind of, um, like I said, Brash he's got a lot of personality to him. He's got that kind of gruff side and that dark side, and everything he says is just, you know layered in cynicism and snark, and and um and so that it makes it more fun, and it's just easier to get into that character, I think. Whereas,
It's more distinct.
right, exactly, it's more distinct, a little more unique and whatnot. Where if it's just, like an accountant who's going about his day-to-day job and it just has a normal voice and whatnot, then those, I guess, are a little bit more challenging, just because it's harder to get into that kind of personality, that mindset.
So then, on the opposite of challenging, what have been the favorite characters or projects that you've done work on? Or
um Villains are always fun. The guys kinda like Brash, that kinda have that evil side to them, and I think it's a lot of that is because, they get to say and do the things that I normally wouldn't in an everyday situation. Um, they get to say the things that we all kinda wanna say or wish we could say, and, so those are a lot of fun to do, and I love doing, really kinda goofy, cartoony voices and characters too, where, again, I just get to act like, something that is totally out of the norm, for me to do. Um, and anything that's, kind of got a fun accent, or even kind of, stretches me as an actor, I like that challenge. I If there's a character that has, a lot of emotional range, where they kind of run through the gamut of, going through something traumatic, or they have to do like a real emotional crying scene, and then the next scene they're happy and normal, and that's a lot of fun for me to do too, just because it's a bit of a challenge. So, but a good challenge, not a challenge and like, oh gosh, I have to do this. So,
So then, when you're trying to get into that kind of like out of the norm character, is there anything that you do to get into character? This question as well says, like, do you wear a funny hat, listen to music, or is there anything that you do just to like get in the vibe?
how much character do I get into? Right? Am I in full costume and am I recording
Hmm.
again? um, to really mostly just to get into character. I find out as much of their backstory as I can, and as much information about that character as I can, to really kind of um, just try and relate to them, and so that way I'll know how they would react to what the other characters are saying, what's going on around them. Um, so mostly just kind of a lot of homework on the character, um, and a lot of physicality. If the character is a very kind of staunch and upright, proper guy, I'll make sure I'm sitting up straight and I have my shoulders back and my chin kind of tucked in, and maybe even a scowl on my face and that kind of stuff. I bring as much physicality into it as possible because it reflects through the voice, um, more than you would think. And if it's a really kind of laid back, chill character, it's like almost like a surfer dude or something. I'm like slumped in my chair, my eyes are half closed, and I really kind of get into it as much as I can physically, cramped in this booth. Um, but I haven't really dressed up. That's an interesting idea. It would be a good way to get into a character, I think, is to put on a hat or wear something that reflects the character. That's a good idea.
Uh, so, if of the characters that you have voiced, is there any that you haven't, or what kind of character would you like to voice in your next thing, or right now, future projects, that sort of
A character that I haven't voiced, but I would like to.
thing? Mhm.
Let's see. That's a good question. I'm trying to think back of what characters I have voiced, and I don't think I've ever really voiced a good like pirate character. Now that you mention, I think I've done like maybe one or two little lines for like a side character here and there, but to really get into like a good like you're hard, like kill all
Yeah.
them and that kind of stuff. I would really love to do a good pirate kind of voice, and maybe like a crotchety old man. I like doing those too, just because I'm getting, as far as the internet world goes, I'm probably ancient. I'm 41, so in
I
internet
don't think
years,
that's
that's
even
like
the oldest person in the server.
is that not? Oh wow, well,
No.
that would be awesome.
That also
Is
skips what somebody had a question in here that's how old are you? So that answered that
Oh, there
question.
you go. So, yeah, 41. It just seems like every other like website I'm on or Discord server, it's like everybody's like 16, 18, like,
Hmm.
max 25, and I'm feeling like, oh gosh, I'm the old man.
No, I think because maybe the maturity level of what Demon Heart is,
Ah,
it
that's a good point. That's probably true.
slightly like a higher age average. There are a few young people, but we have our 18 plus roles and everything like that. Um, and I do remember there being a few people older than you. I just don't remember who they are.
Hey, as long as there's something and I'm not alone, that's okay. That's cool.
In it together.
That's right.
Uh, oh, okay. So here's the next question. Hypothetically speaking, would you be friends, enemies, or even date some of the characters you voice?
Be friends or even enemies with some of the characters I voice. That's a good question too. Um, yeah, there's been some fun characters that I think would be fun people to know in real life. I just did a game. I guess it just actually just recently came out on consoles. It's been on PC for a while, called My Time at Portia or My Time at Porsche. I don't
Portia?
know.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's Portia. I've played a bit of it.
Have you? Okay.
Mhm.
I've heard it's both in the game. And they never gave us a actual official pronunciation of it. So I guess some of the
Yeah,
actors say Portia, some of the actors say
yeah.
Portia. So,
Yeah, it's a thing. I think the majority of players say Portia,
mhm.
but there's no hard definition, so it's whatever you want.
Right. And I think I remember the first time I recorded some lines, I was saying Portia, and then I had heard another clip of someone else say Portia, and I was like, "Oh, it must be Portia." So I went back and redid all my lines as Portia. So, um, anyway,
Sometimes it's just like that.
right. But I voiced a character in there named McDonald, the farmer, of course. Old McDonald had a farm, um, and he was just kind of a typical kind of goofy. Um, but he was a nice guy character. I think he'd be good to
Mhm.
know. And I also voiced one of the brothers. I can't remember their last name.
Is it
The Hulu brothers. Is
the
that it?
Dawa? Is it Dawa?
Dawa was the character I voiced. That was his first
Yeah,
name. I know there's like Dawa
there's
and
like a five or something of them.
right. I want to say it's the Hulu brothers, but I don't remember now. But anyway, I voiced Dawa, and he was kind of fun to voice too. Um, and he was another one that he was just like a super nice guy and very helpful. And those are people that I think you could be friends with in real life. A guy like Brash, I don't know. He'd be the kind of guy that I think you would want on your side, but you would kind of be keeping your eye on him.
Yeah, it's better friends than enemies with him, I would say.
Right, yeah. Better to be nice to Brash.
So, in any of your work, this is the next question. Have you ever had to get drunk to voice a character?
I have never had to get drunk, no.
Have you ever chosen to get drunk to voice a character?
No, no, I've never chosen to get drunk, no. You know what? I don't even like, alcohol. I'm one of those weird people. I've tried it, and it's just like, I can't get that. I can't acquire the taste. People
Hmm.
say it's an acquired taste. Well, I can't
Well,
acquire
why
it.
would
I
you
just
want
don't
to
like it.
acquire it?
Right, that's like, why do you have to acquire something if you don't like it? I'm not gonna keep eating it until I do like it or drinking it. So I don't even like drinking, so I've never chosen to get drunk. No, I've voiced drunk characters or pretended to be drunk, but I've never been physically drunk. No,
It's probably a lot easier to observe other people being drunk to know how to do it when you're sober.
right, and it's easier to read your lines, I'm sure too.
That as well. Um, so we've got a question about Brash. From what you know about Brash, are there any characteristics that are similar to you or that you can relate to?
Yeah, definitely the side of Brash that is not very forthcoming with his emotions and probably not the best communicator. That's very much me. I keep things very close to the chest and don't express my feelings very openly. If I have a really big problem with someone, obviously I'll we'll talk and talk it out and whatnot. But little things that here and there, I'm like, I'm just I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone, that kind of thing. So I think that side of Brash is probably the closest to us. I mean, I hope I'm not the jerk that he is. I don't.
You'd have to try pretty hard, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I think he, like you said, he tries. He goes out of his way to be
Hmm.
as mean as possible in some cases. So, but yeah, definitely. As far as communication and expressing your feelings and all that stuff go, I'm not very good at that at all. So.
Well, I'm sure that's something that we all have to work on at points in our life. So you're still human.
What's that?
You're still human,
Yeah, that's true. I am. Last time I
unlike
checked.
Brash.
Unlike Brett. That dirty
The
rat.
the next question I have is, what are the most memorable experiences you've had in your career?
The most memorable, I think it's kind of those sort of landmark moments, like the first time I found one of my games in a store, like a physical copy of a game. That was kind of one of those moments. I was like, "Whoa, that's so cool!" And the first time I got to record in an actual studio and not record from home in my closet, but actually go to a professional studio and be directed by an actual director with sound engineers and the whole thing. Those were definitely kind of the big memorable moments. And then getting to go to like a couple comic conventions around here for free because I was a professional voice actor. I got a professional badge and got to go to free, and it's like, oh wow, this is kind of like a thing now. I'm a voice actor.
Feels more
So
official.
right, I'm real.
Um, that kind of goes. There's a question about Comic Cons bit here. Have you, and also from a question earlier, have you ever dressed as a character you've voiced before, whether at a Comic Con or at home? And would you ever want to dress up at a Comic Con?
I never have, but I have wanted to actually, and thought about it for a while. There was a character I voiced a long time ago for a short, kind of a short web series, animated web series called Super Apartment Brothers, about three video game characters who were all roommates. And I voiced a kind of a space marine guy named Griffin, who was very much sort of like the Halo character, that kind of space marine Spartan.
Hmm.
He even wore a helmet that looked like the Spartan helmet, but the rest of his outfit was kind of a short sleeve button down shirt and a tie with some slacks and stuff, like an everyday 9 to 5 job sort of outfit. Um, and I thought that would be kind of a fun character to cosplay as. And so, but I just have never gotten around to buying the helmet and putting it all together and that kind of stuff. And then after a while, the series kind of died off, so now it's kind of irrelevant. Um, but yeah, I have thought about it a couple times. I never have. I'm not very resourceful as far as putting things together. I'm not very crafty. Um, I need to hit up my mom. My mom sews a lot, so maybe I can get her to put something together for me. uh,
That's what a lot of people do.
yeah, I've heard that. So yeah, maybe sometime in the future I will. I have thought about it. I'm definitely not against it or opposed to it for sure.
Nice, nice. Let's see. This next question is is Brash the most evil character you've ever voiced? And if not, who is?
Ooh, I don't know about the most evil. I've voiced a couple characters that are were like full on kind of evil ghost demon kind of characters that may have like a notch above Brash. Um, Brash is more just plain evil, mean, spiteful kind of evil, not like I want to take over the world and devour
Mhm.
your soul kind of evil. Um, so I think probably those characters are probably a little more evil. I can't remember their names now. A lot of the games I voice are these hidden object puzzle adventures that you can buy through a website called Big Fish Games, I think. There's like a ton of them, and so I can't remember all the characters I've voiced for those, but I know I've done a couple in there that are like these evil spirits that are trying to suck the souls out of people and that kind of thing. And so I would say those are probably the most evil I've voiced. So.
Fair. Uh, so then, on that, what do you think are some of your best works in terms of what?
Ooh, gosh, that's a tough one because that's kind of up to the listener. I guess, in my own opinion, there was kind of an audio book. Well, it started out as an audio book and then was kind of gonna get trimmed down to an audio drama, and then it kind of got trimmed down even further. But it was going to be a Once Upon a Time fan fiction. Um, Based off the TV series Once Upon a Time, and I actually voiced Rumpelstiltskin in that. And that was a really challenging role because they really did do kind of what I was talking about earlier, run through all those emotional gamut of things. And he had a scene where like his son died, and so he had like this whole breakdown scene, and got into big angry yelling matches with Captain Hook and and that was a really challenging, fun role to play, and uh, it was a lot of fun. And I think that really was some of my best work. I know I recorded a ton for it, but I think it's going to get chopped down to very little. I see some people saying for a name. The project is called Hooked. And I think there is a trailer for it on YouTube. But it was an original fan work that someone had written. As it's a full length novel that's out there somewhere. You can read it. Um, but the actual audio version of it is getting trimmed down significantly. But I know I recorded a whole bunch for it that was a lot of fun to record and very challenging. And I think that really was some of my best work. And then the sad part is a lot of the stuff that I really love doing and I consider my best work never sees the light of day, which is unfortunate, but just part of the job description, I guess. Um, I think Brash was up there too. He was a lot of fun to do and just fun to be mean, and I think he's probably the character that's one of the characters that's gotten the most attention. There's a lot of people who like him and they're fans of him. And there, there's a whole Discord server
Yeah.
thread for him and stuff like that. So I've never really had that before with other characters. So I'll put him up there too for that aspect of it. But yeah, I would definitely kind of say that Rumpelstiltskin character.
So then, in your best works, maybe, or back to the things that you'd like to voice, do you have like a favorite accent to voice, or one that you
Oh
want to
gosh.
voice more?
Um, I love doing British accents because I grew up watching a lot of British TV, Monty Python, and that kind of
Mm.
stuff. So I love to do British accents if I can, find a good excuse to do one. If there's a good character out there that likes to talk like this, then I'm all for it. Um, and any kind of fun accent, some that aren't good to do anymore because now they're stereotypical and racist.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Um, so, but yeah, definitely English accents, Scottish accents, that kind of stuff. I love doing those. Um, Especially
And
when they're the kinda goofy characters that I can have
oh,
some fun with. Don't really. What's that?
we're being demanded to have you do a Scottish accent.
Oh gosh, as long as people aren't, too concerned about it being entirely accurate, like, that's what I was just about to say is, I love doing characters that are really goofy with the accents because then they don't have to be, super accurate, and you don't get the actual Scottish person out there doing, "Well, that doesn't sound right. What province was that from?" Um,
I don't think we have any Scottish people here today, so
"Hey,
you can
alright,
get
cool,
away with
so
it for today.
people I can get away with it, huh?" All right then. Well, and I'm not really sure what to say, but I'll just start rattling off in Scottish. Let's see here. What could I say? See, now I'm on the spot, so I can't even think of anything.
We're making
So
demands in the
yeah,
chat.
someone type up a couple lines for me, and I'll read them for you.
Okay, somebody come up.
Uh,
They want to hear last really bad.
Lass, that's just one word. Lass, you're a potato shrimp. Lass, you're a wee lass, aren't you?
All right. I think we've indulged them.
Yeah.
On the subject of Demon Hearts, someone wants to know: would you ever voice a conversation between Brash and Ray's that was written by fans?
Um, yeah, I like doing that kind of stuff. There were back when oh gosh, I don't remember. It's been months now. I voiced some just goofy lines for Brash about neck pillows and that kind of stuff. I like doing little odds and ends here. Of a character, especially if it's a character I like to voice. And Brash is one of those characters. He's a lot of fun to throw out there because he's got so much attitude and and spite. Um, so yeah, if there's some lines here and there, I would happily voice them.
The
Who
next
is
two
it?
questions. Oh, I don't. I actually deleted all the names just so I didn't embarrass anybody.
Okay. Anonymous says.
So this it could be a shared sentiment. It could be multiple. I don't know. I just deleted any repeats and deleted all the names. But the people in chat say they're not embarrassed. So the next two questions are very unrelated to each other. But what kind of music are you into? And donde están los tacos?
¿Dónde están los tacos? I remember the taco line. What kind of music am I into? I'm mostly a rock guy, especially older rock. I'm a child of the '80s, so I like hair bands from the '80s, um, and classic rock a lot. As far as like newer stuff goes, there's not a lot of new stuff I like actually. I guess I'm kind of a guy. I've been a fan of Weezer for a long time. They're one of my faves. And conveniently enough, they just came out with an album of all '80s covers, so that was kind of cool. Best of both worlds.
That
But
is pretty convenient.
yeah, right. But yeah, I get mostly rock stuff, old rock.
Sorry, this question's so this I think you've touched on this a bit about direction, and you for Demon Heart didn't get too much direction. But the question is, how much for games and other projects with a story, how much context are you given for your lines before you deliver them, or do you generally just get simple direction and emotion?
It varies from project to project. Some projects I really don't get anything other than here's the line, and he's mad. Here's the line, and he's sad. Um, and so for those I'll do 3, 4, 5 takes of as many ways as I can kind of think to say it just to cover my bases. And then sometimes there's projects where I'm given pretty much the whole script, and so I can kind of get as much context as I want. um, so it really runs the gamut out there. For the most part, I'm given just my lines with a little bit of context and kind of the a little bit of direction, that might have like emphasize this word, and obviously kind of the emotion behind it. Um, so that's generally what it is just my lines and a little bit of context. But occasionally I do get all the whole script and a lot of context, um, and occasionally I'll just get my lines with nothing else. So it's a little bit of everything.
Do you prefer more or less? I assume more.
Definitely more, because the more I know about the character and the context and everything that's going on, the I think the more natural and the more realistic I can deliver the lines. Um, it's a little overwhelming to be given like the entire script of a big project and
Mhm.
whatnot, because obviously, especially video games, there's a lot to video games, and my character has been maybe a few scenes, then I don't really need the entire script. But I definitely at least love having some context and knowing what's going on. It's not just my line, because the way to say that line is going to depend so much about really what's going on in the scene, who am I talking to, what did they say, and how did they say it. There's a lot of things that will affect how I'm going to read a line and how that reaction would be. So I definitely love some context at least, but there is such a thing as too much context.
Mhm. For the Demon Heart project, someone submitted saying that they read that you were originally supposed to be Raise's voice.
Hmm.
So they would like to know what you first thought when you learned that you were asked to voice Brashen's.
Um, I don't think I was really given Ray's role. I remember auditioning for Ray's, but I think
Mhm.
she came back and said, "How about you do this character instead? Because I think you're much more. I think you fit this one better." And then for that, I was like, "Oh, awesome! That's cool."
Mhm.
I would much go into a character knowing that I was more fitting for that character, or more what the director creator had in mind for it. That's always good to know. yeah, I do remember auditioning for Raise and being kind of shortlisted for that. Like I know I was kind of one of the ones being considered for it, and then I got an email back saying, "Well, what about doing Brash? Could you try reading some lines for him?" And so I'd done a whole bunch of different uh, um, audition lines for that. I think she actually posted them up here somewhere, where I tried him with different accents and that kind of stuff. Uh,
I think I do
but
actually.
yeah, I think so too. Um, yeah, it's I consider it a compliment, to know that maybe I didn't fit this character, but we would like you to try this character. That at least is sort of a testament to that they like your acting, that you're at least doing a fair job at acting, which is
Mhm.
the key element, the thing you want to be good at. So the voices, it kind of comes after the fact. So if they like you enough to give you another role, then I take that as a very big compliment, and I appreciate that a lot. So
The chat is being spammed with to let you know that you are the best Brash and there's no other Brash voice actor,
oh
which there actually was in the module game. So there
yeah.
is another voice actor to compare you against.
Oh, is there? Okay. I know of the module, but I haven't seen or heard any of it, so I'll have to look some of that up.
There's a channel in here if you do get curious about that, but
Oh,
it's a
okay.
lot. It's a lot
That's a lot.
more dark than the visual novel.
Okay, that's cool. Interesting.
Let me just. So I have 3 more submitted questions, but
Okay.
everyone in chat is now vehemently trying to extend the question session.
I don't
Um,
I don't know how you keep up with that. I'm just watching the chat roll by like, what?
Years and years of practice of being on the internet.
I see. This is where I get old on the internet, so my age catches up with me. I'm like, oh, you young whippersnappers typing so fast and not even spelling words right.
So that's the kind of character you'd like to voice in terms of old men.
I don't see even old men. There's like a wide range of them. There's kind of that one, and then you got the kind of more of like a decrepit guy that can't even remember where he lives. That kind of thing.
So much I feel like can be portrayed through an old man's voice. I don't know why.
It really can. Yeah, it's true. I guess it's all the years of wisdom behind it. Maybe I don't know.
Mm, perhaps. So the
Perhaps.
last 3 questions that I have, and then I'll try to pull a few more from the chat if you're willing.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, so, what are some of your all-time favorite video games, and why?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm very much kind of a story video game guy. I'm not one of those like multiplayer Call of Duty. Uh, so a few of my favorites are Skyrim, Red Dead Redemption. I'm still working through Red Dead Redemption 2 right now, actually, but I'm really liking that one. Um, I really liked Dragon Age. I like Dragon Age Inquisition. That was a good one. Dragon Age 2 was good too. So yeah, I think those are some of my favorites. If you want to go really old school, because like I said, I'm old, then you got like Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic. So some of those kind of role playing games that like just have a good story. I love a good story. So
That's, I think that's what most of us look for in this Discord.
yeah, I
Maybe
guess
I can't speak to the rest of the
this
gamers, but
is
that's probably why we like you so much.
well, there you go. I guess this is a good Discord for that. I mean, you got Demon Heart, which is a very story driven game. So most of the people that are fans of that would probably be fans of the genre, right?
I'm sorry. I just uh, Fluff asks if you will say make him say the cowboy line. I got a snake in my boot specifically.
As Brash, I'm
Uh,
assuming.
However you want to interpret it.
Oh, however I want to. Oh gosh, I'll
Oh,
do
they want his
Brash
brash, but
as Brash. There's a snake in my boot. How's that? Was that okay?
I don't think
Was that
they'll
up
ever
to?
forget that.
I mean, you tell me anything I want, then that could be it. Who knows? I guess I'll do the Scottish too. There's a snake in my boot.
Different types of snakes and boots.
Different types of snakes and boots. You got it.
The last question I have before I try to dig more out of this chat, were there any moments in recording any voices you've done that were significantly awkward or really challenging to act out that stick out in your mind?
um, some of the, I guess some of the, a lot of the stuff I record is on my own, with no real direction or anything. So there's not a whole lot of stuff that's been really awkward. But there have been a couple of directed sessions where I had to, you know, kind of like one I remember I had to cry, and that one took me a long time to get because I'm not one of those super great actors that can just cry on demand, and pull up some memory and then have tears running down their face. I have to fake a lot of things, and so I had this director who was really trying to pull some authentic tears out of me, and trying to make me sad and do all this stuff, and so that kind of got not awkward, but it was just sort of like, well, this is depressing. This has been a really depressing voice session. Um, so I guess that kind of thing, and then. Um, There's just, been a couple that are hard when, the voice requires a lot of yelling or growling and stuff, and my voice starts to get a little hoarse and harsh, and trying to push through it, um, without having to admit that my throat is on fire and I can't
Mhm.
talk anymore, but I don't want them to find somebody else for the role, so I'm gonna keep going. So those are kind of the big challenges and hardest things to do too, so
That
if
makes
that makes
sense.
sense. Does that
I
make
don't.
sense? Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't know how people cry on demand. So it's a skill
Yeah,
I don't possess.
yeah, me either, and I'm an actor supposedly, so,
One of the questions on that was, when did you have to cry?
when did I have to cry?
Yeah, I think they missed the explanation on what project it was.
Oh, one of them was for the one I had mentioned earlier, that, Once Upon a Time fan fiction. His son had died, and so he had a big emotional breakdown scene, and they wanted that one as authentic as possible, and
Oh my,
so, they were, really pushing for, sadness, trying to
sounds a
make it
bit
as sad as
traumatic.
possible. Right. So they were like, "How would you feel if your own son died?" And I was like, "Well, I don't wanna think about that."
No, oh my goodness. I suppose that would get you a bit more authentic, but
Right. I was like, "Do I really have to go there?" Uh,
yeah,
I can
definitely
fake it. Listen,
uncomfortable.
believe me, I can fake it. I'll just go So, but, yeah, so, that's kinda weird.
There's so one of the questions I pulled from the chat is, do you have a voice actor or actress or what have you, that whose work you particularly
Oh gosh, a bunch. And some of them, like Rob Paulson, Maurice LaMarche, Townsend Coleman, all those guys that, you kinda hear a lot of all the time. Um, and even one character that they did, like, for Townsend Coleman, he voiced, um, the Tick, when it was an animated series back in the '90s, and I think I was in high school or just out at that point, and that was one of those things where I heard that, and like you could tell he was just having so much fun voicing this character that it really kind of inspired me to maybe pursue it a little bit more, or at least consider it. I didn't get into voice acting until several years after the fact, but I'm planting a seed in my mind from that, and same thing with Rob Paulson and Maurice LaMarche. We're doing Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain, and they were just uh, cartoons that I loved, and so they kind of always struck a chord with me, and really wanted m or made me want to kinda get into voice acting, and, so yeah, I think those are kind of the big 3, and then there's a bunch that I love. Tara Strong is a great one with her Harlequin, and some of those too, and Kevin Conroy doing Batman, and he doesn't have to try, though. That's just kinda his voice. So,
yeah,
yeah,
some people just
those
have it
are
easy.
right.
So you do you need to get a water or I
Uh, yeah, actually, I would love to get a little bit. I'm kind of getting over a cold right now, so my throat's still a little bit iffy. So if you don't mind me,
no,
maybe.
no, of course, go get some water.
Okay, I will be right back then. All right, I'm back.
Welcome back. Hopefully, you've
Well,
got some good old liquid water.
I do. I got some high quality H2O.
Okay, so let's see. Um, Another question that was put into the chat was, which I feel like you may have answered a little already, but they probably just want
Oh,
to
okay.
hear it again. Of all your works, which one would you say has brought more fans to you?
I think Brash is probably uh one who's brought the most. I've got a few fans from those, hidden object puzzle adventure
Hmm.
games. There's been a few people who've gotten in contact with me who said that they've heard me in several of them and really enjoyed the work there, but not for like a specific character. They just, they heard me over and over and said they kind of liked the work I was doing. But I think Brash is actually like a character that people are that has actually garnered some fans who are fans of Brash, but in particular, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so I think it's definitely Brash is up there on the top of the list for that.
I think they'll be proud of themselves. Uh,
Uh,
so if you're willing, I think. Oh, actually, there was one other question. I think I may have missed this, but you mentioned playing Dragon Age.
right.
Um, who did you romance in Dragon
Oh gosh. Who did I romance in Dragon Age? It's been a long time now. That's so funny. Um,
It's a subject much talked about here.
oh, is it? I didn't realize that. Oh gosh, I'm blanking on all the characters now.
If you even describe them, I'm pretty sure they can figure it out.
That's probably true. Let's see. It was who was the oh gosh, the girl that always had the clipboard and the candle was on the end of the clipboard, and she was kind of like your executive assistant, I want to say, kind of. Yeah, Josephine.
Josephine.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I saw the name coming up. I romanced her on one playthrough, and I think what is it? Cassandra, was that her name?
That sounds right. Yep.
The warrior with the short hair.
Yep. Cassandra.
Yeah. Okay, Cassandra. Yeah, I did. I romanced her on the second playthrough. So I think those were the two.
I think this pleases the masses.
Well, as long as they approve, that's the important thing.
If you're up to it, now that you have water, they majorly requested the voice line from Brash of "Do you want to see me again?" and "Sweetheart."
What was that? You kind of broke up there. You
Oh,
want to?
sorry. They requested the brash voice lines of "Do you want to see me again?" and "Sweet." The word "sweet."
Oh, do you want to see me again, sweetheart? Or do you want to see me again, sweetheart?
That is all the questions that I have gathered. We can either end here, or you can, if you want, you can open it to the chat, or floor is yours.
Oh, the floor is wow. I don't know if we want to do that. But yeah, I've got a few more minutes. If there's any other questions, or if people want to open it up, that's cool.
Do you want to allow them to unmute so they can ask any questions, or maybe even just tell you how much they enjoy your voice?
Oh yeah, that'd be fine. I'm open for that.
All right, anybody who wants to unmute, you are
Yes, of
so
course. I hear the second. No, but something I wanted to say before, and I know I speak in the name of a lot of the fans here, is that what you were saying before about how Brass is the most popular and you think is for the character himself.
Mhm.
It's honestly, it wouldn't be the same without your voice acting. Like
Oh,
it 100% wouldn't be the same. It just your voice acting just adds so much depth to the character, especially the scenes in which you do, for example, more emotional moments, and he's just kind of you can hear in your voice acting how he is a bit like broken inside or his insecure side and things like that, and that's great, and that wouldn't be possible without you. So yeah,
oh,
it's
thank you
not
so
just the
much.
character.
Oh, that's awesome. I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
No worries.
That means a lot.
Is there anyone else who would like to unmute?
I think they are too shy.
Yeah, a lot of people are probably a little on the shy side.
That's okay. I totally understand that. I was incredibly shy growing up.
Shrimp, go ahead.
I give a 10 out of 10 voice.
10 out of 10.
That was quick.
Yes, that's
I'll
it.
take that. Thank you. Thank you.
If anybody
Oh,
wants to type a question into the chat, they're more than welcome if they don't want to unmute. But Sylve, I see you're unmute.
Yeah, sorry. I don't really have a question. I think the chat is more worried that if everyone unmutes now, there's going to be chaos because they're all swooning over
yes.
your voice.
I mean, true.
If
That's
somebody,
true.
okay, we'll do a first come first serve, and I'll call everyone up as they type into the chat that they would like to.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Fluff leaves.
6.
So, is there anyone
Oh,
who
Lamb.
wants to?
Lamb is here. Lamb is here. Since when is Lamb here?
Oh yeah, she's here. Oh man,
Oh,
I
she's
hope
been.
I hope I said everything right.
Lamb, do you
Boss.
want to take the floor? I'm not sure
I
if she's
mean,
actually listening.
I don't know, but I mean, it's kind of interesting because I was just thinking if there's going to be voice acting for
She's typing.
yes, it's typing. I'm just praying that there's going to be voice acting for Demon Heart too, because I
Yes.
just need that. I need that. I mean, I'm guessing if there was voice acting and Lamb contacted you, you would be happy to work again for the Demon Heart.
To do Brash again for Demon Heart 2? Yeah, I would love to.
Oh,
That's come up before at one point. I don't remember what she said. If she's working on voice acting for that one or not, because it's kind of hard to wrangle voice actors, and she's kind enough to pay us, so that's an
oh,
expense. So
yeah, that's good. That's good that you get paid.
right, yeah. But yeah, I would love to voice Brash again. He's a fun character.
So actually, so how much of your time do you take into doing voice acting really? Like, do you practice or every day or what? Do you have a routine for it?
Yeah, I I'm doing some kind of work every day as far as spending a lot of time just hunting for work, looking for auditions and then recording those auditions and editing those auditions. Um, and most of those don't really amount to anything. I can probably 20 to 30 auditions and maybe get one or two jobs. So,
God,
it's
that's harsh.
yeah, that's the majority of the work is finding work. But fortunately, I have a couple of recurring jobs and companies that I work with, and so send me work and whatnot. I'm incredibly grateful for those because I don't have to do anything for them. Um, but yeah, I mean, I work several hours a day, either hunting for work or recording the work that I do have. So yeah, it's pretty much a full-time job. I just the pay is not always consistent. So
Okay, so then is voice acting your only living, or do you have any other job apart from that?
other than being a dad, voice acting is my jobs.
God, yeah, I think that's plenty. Being a dad and voice acting, that's plenty work.
Yeah. Being a parent is a full-time job on its own.
Yeah.
So
How many kids do you have then? It's just,
I have two sons.
oh, that's great.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. Definitely keep me
Good.
on my toes.
Good.
So is it's been a few minutes now. Did you want to wrap up maybe one more question?
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm good to go with whatever you had planned. So
Okay, so final questions, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, because at the end, this is being like quite improvised as well, towards the end at least.
Yeah, we were kind of hoping that everyone would be tame enough to allow, but we weren't sure, so we didn't quite.
everyone's doing great. This is
They're being very restrained. I'm very proud of them.
Yeah,
is
it's
this
been
not the
difficult.
norm?
No, I
Oh,
think
well,
it's we had some time to breathe now, but at first I was
Yeah.
literally just I think, I mean, one of the reason is the mic it was mute, so I was like low key screaming a bit here. So it's good. Everything was mute.
Yeah. Everything's calm now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we've got a question. Has Jonathan voiced any characters from other visual novels or any upcoming visual novels? And what do you think about visual novels as a game genre?
I think they're very interesting as kind of a genre in that it really is kind of a story that you can, I think, get more involved with, and you're part of it every step of the way. I mean, you're holding conversations with people and you get to like choose your reply um and kind of direct the story as you want, and as a kid I grew up reading those choose your own adventure books, and they remind me a lot of that. And so I kind of have a fondness for them in that regard. As a choose your own adventure, you kind of get to take the story where you want, and kind of like in Demon Heart, I know the choices you make affect your personality and your alignment and that kind of stuff. And I love that kind of thing where you kind of get to create your character as you go, and be a part of the stories. So yeah, I think the visual novels are great. I kind of love that kind of thing. As far as some other ones that I'm in a couple of them that are coming up. I'm trying to remember the names of them because the hard part about voice acting is you record things and then you don't hear about them again for years. Because voice acting is usually one of the things that one of the first things that come into stuff. um, but there's one called Anonymous Agony that's in the works. I voice a policeman character in that. Oh gosh, what are some of the other ones? I know there's a couple of them. Um, they're gonna come to me later, and I'm gonna be kicking myself. um, let's see, what's the name of? Oh man, that's driving me crazy. There's There's one I think called The Forbidden Arts. I don't remember if that's an actual visual novel or if that's more just kind of an RPG game. But I voice a kind of an old crazy guy in that one. So how did you get there? See, I kind of get to do my old man. I'm sorry, I'm kind of browsing through my folders of voice works here, trying to look and see what's there, but I'm not finding stuff. I can't remember.
I'm sure we'll figure it out later.
Yeah,
it's
and you know,
alright.
I'll definitely, you know,
Yeah,
announce them or something as they come up.
yeah, and anyway, anytime you can always just come here to this chat and just be like, oh, by the way, these are the visual novels.
Yeah, if you just leave a message in pretty much any of the channels.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
there you
will
go.
read it for sure.
All right, there you go.
We're here like vultures.
There's that other games thread or something I can go in there and just be like,
Mhm.
Yes.
fun.
Yeah, that's where we spend most of our time talking about the Dragon Age romances.
Oh, see, there you go.
And
Oh,
other
I just didn't.
romances.
I wasn't in
And
the
other,
right place.
yeah, pretty much any other game.
So now that you mentioned as well that you used to like read the Choose Your Own Adventure books, I was
Mhm.
wondering if you know the company that it's called Choice of Games. This company does applications for your phone or also for the computer that
Mhm.
are like Choose Your Own Adventure books, except that you have them in your phone.
Oh, I hadn't
And
heard that.
so, well, if you haven't, I think you should probably check it out. If you have the time, of course, and you want to, because if you just enjoy those books, I think you will really enjoy it. And in the chat, it's been linked to you, the link to the forum of it.
Oh, okay, there it is right there. Yeah, Choice of Games. I will definitely check that out. That's interesting.
Yeah, because it has all the things you were saying, like building your character. Just, you always choose, for example, if you're a man or a woman or non-binary, transsexual, whatever you fancy, really, your
Mhm.
name,
There are many different
everything.
stories and genres and types of stories. So some are really heavy on the RPG
Mhm.
side with lots of stats that you build and that are used in the story. Others are a bit more lenient and are more focused on characters and character interaction. There are
Oh,
really
cool.
many different stories, and everyone here would probably recommend Fallen Heroes.
Oh God, yes.
Yes.
But like, I mean, Fallen Hero is if you are in for like an emotional ride,
Oh, yeah.
Very
because
emotional, very
it's very
character heavy.
emotional. It's really very an emotional thing, and it's emotional in so many different levels. It takes you from complete anger to just be sobbing and despair. So
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was
yeah,
looking for. Something to make me sob in despair.
perfect.
Will help me
The
when I have
nice
to just
thing
cry on demand.
about all the games is that you can read a free demo of the first, I don't know, 3 chapters to see if the story is to
Oh,
your
okay.
liking, the writing is to your liking, if you like the system of the script itself. So you can check everything out before you have to buy it.
Well, that's
On
good. See, you guys are good salesmen. I'm
on
gonna check this out.
the subject of despair, I think Fluff was asking if you watch Game of Thrones.
You know what? I am one of those weird freaks that has never seen an episode of Game of Thrones.
I've only seen half
For
an
some
episode.
reason, it
What's
doesn't
that?
surprise me.
Doesn't surprise me.
No, actually, it doesn't surprise me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because you just don't drink or anything, and you have enough being a dad and finding jobs with voice acting. Who has time for Game of Thrones?
Right. Well, and I'm much comedy guy. So.
Fluff,
Fluff, we can hear you. Try go.
Oh, yeah, I can barely hear you.
We
yeah, I
can.
can hear you.
You're a voice actor, right? So you work a lot. Do you ever really have time to just kick back and play games?
Yeah, I do that later in the evening. Most of my family are all pretty early to bed type folks, and so and I'm kind of a night owl. So once everybody goes to bed, I can't really record and do any work at that point anyway. Who wants me screaming, "I'm gonna kill you, you son of a!" and while everybody's trying to sleep. So I use that time to kind of to catch up on some video gaming and that kind of stuff. So
Oh god.
I can just imagine him from like another room. Everyone's just chill, I don't know, in the living room. And then from the other room, he just suddenly yells, "I'm gonna kill you!" And everyone's just like, "What the hell?"
Okay, now that you're saying this,
That has
I
happened
am
before.
I am wondering, do you ever kind of by accident, let's say, kind of voice act while you are playing games, if you are like kind of immersed in the game, and then your voice comes like it's not your actual normal voice, like daily day voice?
uh, no, I don't find myself doing that. Because I'm a voice actor, I do pay a lot of attention to the voice acting in the games. So I love to listen to that and kind of hear what other people are, or even if it's just like, ew, why did they go with that guy's voice? That doesn't fit the character at all, in my opinion. So I am a kind of a critic of that sometimes too.
Okay.
If there's no voices for the characters, then I definitely kind of have a voice in my head of what they sound like, and if there's a lot of a text to read to it and stuff like that, then I will do some. Actually, I will kind of read the lines out loud in whatever voice I sort of picture for that character. So there's a little bit of that.
Okay,
I
so
got a question.
you go first, Fluff.
Yes. Okay. So, do you sometimes like how do I say this? The voice from your mind, like, do you think sometimes in the voice of other characters?
Oh yeah, all the time. I think, especially, I think in accents a lot.
In
um,
accents?
yeah, random accents will pop in my head, and I'll even as I'm sitting there watching TV or thinking about stuff, I'll be thinking in that accent. I don't know why. I don't know what that is, but maybe that's why I became a voice actor.
Okay, so this question, I mean, I guess it's somehow personal, so feel free to not answer it. But I
Okay.
was thinking, like, it's at least not safe for work. Okay, that's something. But I don't know how old your sons are. But when they were babies or toddlers, was there any of your like voices that would make them, I don't know, like really laugh a lot or things like that? Would you use your voice acting to entertain them?
Oh yeah. I one of my favorite things to do when they were really little was to read, read books to them, read kids' books to them and stuff. And that was one of my favorite things to do, was to give all the characters a different voice, and try and make
That's
it
so fucking
as
cute.
and make it as interesting as possible for them. One of our favorites was a book called "I Need My Monster," and it's a story about this little boy who has a monster under his bed, and the monster takes a vacation, and so there's all these substitute monsters that come in to fill in for the monster. And so I had a different voice for each one of the monsters, and the boys loved it. They would crack up, and it would just make the book fun for both of
That's
us. They don't just
That's just so fucking cute.
Yeah.
It's so fucking cute. Like,
Thank you.
oh, that's adorable. Honestly, that's great.
Oh, no, it made it fun for me too. So, and if it's not fun for me, I'm not gonna. Who wants to sit and read a whole bunch of books if it's not fun, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's completely true. I'm laughing because someone in the chat is saying how this solidifies that Brass is best dad.
I don't know if Brash would be a good dad. That would be kind of
Oh
scary,
God,
wouldn't it?
I don't think so.
I think Lamb once mentioned somewhere that Brash would consider at
Yeah,
some point.
Yeah, I
I mean,
noticed
he
he
would do
said.
anything right, just mostly anything,
Yeah,
even
but I
have
think
kids.
she say that he will consider like adopting a child or something
Yeah.
with Bride.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be pretty awkward with him, that's for sure. Like,
Yes,
how
it
do I
will
do
be.
affection? What's affection? How do I do that?
Right.
Yes.
You want a what? What's a hug?
Oh, I just imagine now, like just a baby girl or something, just wanting Brass to like read her a story before going to bed or something like that, and that could be such an awkward situation.
Yeah, Brash would tell his own stories of all the people he's disemboweled and decapitated and stuff.
Oh, beautiful.
Right. So there I was. I was cornered by 15 soldiers. I lopped them all apart one by one. There were blood, guts, and intestines everywhere. All right, good night, son.
Thank you.
So one question in the chat was they wanted to know how old your oldest child is.
My oldest is just 3 days away from turning 13.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, official teenager. Does that make me old if my age doesn't? And then my youngest is 9. So I have a 13-year-old and 9-year-old boy.
If your age doesn't make you old, their hormones will.
Yeah, I'm
That's
not looking
true.
forward to the next few
Oh
years.
god.
That'll be interesting.
Well, hopefully everything will be okay.
Wyvern, did you want to unmute yourself and ask, or did you want to type ask the question?
I think she should just sit there and keep waving her hand.
Yeah, sorry, I'm still trying to get ready for work, so typing not great for me right now.
No, go ahead.
Just a quick question. Do you have a favorite type of character that you like to voice in particular? Like, is there like a favorite, I don't know. Like, do you like, yeah, there you go. That's a good way to put it. I don't know how to English right now. I'm
What
still
was a
trying
good
to
way
get
to put it?
coffee.
I didn't hear the other way.
Like some personality, some sort of
personality.
personality. Like to...
Yeah, I love voicing villains and just really goofy off the wall characters. Just anything that's really kind of out of the norm that allows me to be something that I'm not, you know. And I think I mentioned earlier, I love voicing villains because, you know, they get to say and do all the things that I normally don't get to, and isn't usually socially acceptable. So kind of a fun excuse or reason to do that.
All right, thanks. I'm sorry. All right, I gotta poof again. Thank you. I can't help it. I was leaving like 30 minutes.
Aww. Well, good luck.
Fluff, were you about to say something?
Because he said he liked voicing socially acceptable characters, and I just went, Brash, you're right. He's not socially acceptable.
Oh god, no, he's not. He is not.
Brash
Do you
is
have
not
any?
someone you want to...
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
Okay. Do you have
Go ahead.
any like limits on things that you wouldn't voice? You have said before that you don't want to voice not safe for work things, but is there any other things that are a hard no for you?
Yeah, definitely, you know, that kind of stuff. Even, you know, I don't swear a whole lot in day-to-day stuff. So even like a character that swears, you know, incessantly, I have a hard time doing because it's just not it doesn't quite sound natural coming from me, I guess. Maybe it's because I'm not good at it. So that's about it, really. I mean, I'm not you know, there's characters of all different kinds and whatnot, and different personalities. You know, just, you know, like I said, I don't like to do the not safe for work stuff just because I'm not super comfortable with that. And maybe, you know, over the top swearing, but that's about it as far as I can think of. Did you have something else in mind, like anything in particular?
Not really. I mean, I was thinking maybe, for example, more like aggressive people or more violent, or for example, because you were saying as well non-socially acceptable, and I don't know, for example, someone who is very, I don't know, sexist or very racist or homophobic or things like that.
Yeah, and those are things I have to kind of take one character at a time and take into consideration, you know. And you know, I just have to keep in mind that it's just a character in a story. So if it's like an extremely racist character, I wouldn't mind playing that character, knowing that it's just a character, and hopefully that character goes through something that you know would change him in the story, or you know, I mean, you always have those not necessarily just racist, but you know, violent and that kind of thing, and they usually end up dying in the end, and how that is resolved.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wouldn't. It's not that I would be against voicing those. I would, within reason, as long as I didn't have to, um, say a whole bunch of derogatory stuff in the script. That would get a little uncomfortable, I think, after a while. Um, if it was, a line or two here and there that, kind of made the character who that was, that would be okay. It's just, it's
Yeah, I
just a
can see
character. That's
that.
not who I am, and I'm not going to say that, in my day to day life, that kind of stuff. But yeah, as long
Yeah.
as it wasn't something where I really had to say it over and over and over and over again, that would start wearing on me as a person.
Yeah, I mean, I understand this. I put myself in, for example, the situation, and I don't think I will be comfortable to do that like constantly. It would be just too much, I think.
Right.
So we've been going for a little over an hour now. I feel like we
Time
could
flies.
go all day and all night
That's
because
true. That's true.
the energy here is endless. So I guess
Can I
we're
just
just
say,
very. Oh,
What was that?
okay, Fluff, go ahead.
all right, so are you like a dog person or cat person, or you just love animals in general?
I like most animals in general. As far as like pets go, like as a pet, I have a dog and a cat. Um,
Hmm.
so a
That's
little bit of
amazing.
both. As far if I had to choose one, I would probably go with dogs, just because they're always so happy to see you. Cats really don't care at
Not
all.
always.
They they only want you when they want attention or when they want something. Other than that, they're like, leave me alone. So I love dogs, just to how friendly they are and how excited they are to see you when you come home and that kind of stuff. So I'd say I'd lean more toward dog person, but I like animals in general.
So not a fan of Mr. Edgardo then.
What's that?
So Mr. Edgardo is the cat that is in Demon Heart.
Oh,
He is a demon heart cat
oh,
himself.
I didn't know about that one.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of fans because he's a cat.
Because it's a cat.
Yes,
There's a
basically.
role.
Okay,
There's a
so
role in him. It's an
we're
orange.
so we'll have to end it here. Jonathan, thank you so much for taking the time for
Thanks
all
for
of
having me.
us.
This was a blast.
We're
I think
glad.
Yeah, it was great, honestly, doing this.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Well,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
for
much,
coming.
and
Yeah, and if
hopefully
anybody
we
has
didn't.
any other questions, you can always
I
message me and
actually
stuff.
I did
So.
have a question before, but kind of joke way, serious way as well. And it's like, what is your opinion in original voice acting, like for movies, and then also when in another countries is voice on their language, so with another voice actors? What's your opinion on that?
You mean for dubbing in other languages and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
Oh,
because I couldn't remember the word in English for it.
No, I'm all for that. As I'm more for getting as many people to enjoy it as possible, and if that means having to record it in another language so that people can understand what's being said, then yeah, I'm all for that.
Well, that's great then. Good. Okay, I don't know if anyone else has any other questions or not. Just I don't want to be monopol. Like, if I keep talking, I can't keep talking for ages, and I don't want to be the monopolize the whole place.
Panda is gone.
Our moderator has left.
Yes, now everyone is in an uncomfortable silence. Uh,
Well, since Panda can't hold us back anymore, how about we keep asking questions?
yeah, I mean, we can keep asking questions. If you guys have questions, just ask them.
I'm thinking of one.
Yeah, it's just now like we are in the spotlight. It's kind of blank mind. Oh. So, what would you say is one of your favorite video games?
Um, One of my favorite video games. We talked about that a little bit earlier.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, kind of the genre,
Skyrim
like
genre.
Skyrim, Dragon Age, and all
Yeah,
that. But
I love those kind of role playing games that have a good story.
is there one that you played and it's like it just blew your mind or something? It made you feel like you had a void inside you after you finished it.
Honestly, the first time
God.
I played, Red Dead Redemption did that. You know, when I played through that whole story and I got so engrossed in the story and I loved the characters and everything. And then when that one ended, I was kind of like,
Yeah,
it left that void. Like, what do I do now?
I went
So,
through the same, and I'm scared of what's going to happen when I finish the second one. So
right. Yeah, you already know what's coming, so you don't want to finish it.
yeah, I don't want to finish this because I know I'm going to cry. Oh. So anyone else got questions in the chat or something? Everyone
I'm
has gone
thinking.
side. The thing is, as soon as you're gone, then everyone will be thinking, "Oh my god, I should have asked this."
I saw Raza Lumina in the chat asked, "What's the most difficult character that you've had to voice?"
Oh, most difficult character. Um, that's a tough one. There's been some that have been very challenging just because for different reasons. Some that are I voiced like whatever I did for an audition was maybe me trying something new that I hadn't really done before, and I ended up getting the part. And so it wasn't really a voice that I had really kind of honed in, or developed much. And so getting all these lines as a character that I suddenly had to do in this voice, makes it a little bit challenging, just because it's not necessarily a voice that I'm doing very well. Um, a lot of voice actors will have kind of a catalog of go-to voices that they do, and then they just kind of tweak it a little bit here and there for different characters. Um, and so if it's one that you haven't really developed a whole lot, and suddenly you have to kind of do all these different emotions and stuff in that voice, then it can be definitely challenging. And then there's some that are just um, challenging because of the voice. Brash was one of them because he's got that kind of gravelly voice. It wears on your throat after a while. So I would have to take some breaks and drink a lot of water in between to really
And
keep that going. And so that was kind of a challenge and difficult in itself, but not hard, not hard to do, but it just wears on you. So that kind of
and
difficult.
hot tea and honey, I'm sure.
Yeah, a lot of tea. I go through a lot of tea.
No, I understand. When I did a haunted house, I would lose my voice by,
Oh.
by the end of the weekend, and I would have to chug hot tea and honey because I would usually use the gravel because those are the creepiest voices
Oh
to
yeah,
do.
that's the best.
But definitely destroy your voice.
Uh-huh.
So, is there any voice line you can remember that was particularly difficult or that you had to repeat it like millions of times before they gave you the okay, this is good?
Oh, I have run into that a few times where it doesn't seem to matter what I'm doing, I can't get it right. Um, I have to do lots of takes of something. Um, and then I just you have those directors out there that occasionally do that where they just want as many options as possible to because they don't know. Usually, those are the ones where they don't have a clear vision of the character or maybe a clear direction of where it's going, and so they'll want 20 takes of a line or something because they're not quite sure what's going to fit in there just yet. So there have been those where I really have to do a lot, and then some. For whatever reason, I'm just connecting with what they had in mind, and so uh, I get a lot of. I'll get some emails back saying, "Could you try it this way? Could you try it this way? Now, could you try it this way?" So I do run into that occasionally. Yeah.
Have you ever get fed up with that?
Um, if I do get frustrated, it's more frustrated with myself because it's my job to give them what they want and to create these characters and do the acting part of it. So if I'm not giving them what they want, then that's on me. And so I get frustrated with myself sometimes. Occasionally you do come across the difficult person that is just kind of being a little bit persnickety maybe and whatnot. Oh look, someone threw up my dog and my cat. There it is.
Who
It's
is
like,
it? Wow, it's like we have a spies here.
yeah, that was weird. I was like, oh, those are my dogs. Wait, how'd that get there? So so yeah, there you get the occasional difficult person, but overall, I just more frustrated with myself than other people.
I see. Okay,
What
just to
about your
say,
favorite line?
that dog is
What's your
so
favorite
cute.
line that you can remember?
What's that?
Uh, what are your favorite lines that you can remember?
Of Brash or just in
No,
general?
In general, I
no.
think.
Oh gosh,
And
in
Brad.
general. And Brash?
Oh.
Of course, I'm brass.
For Brash, I always loved anytime like "Here, kitty, kitty" kind of came up. I always thought that was kind of
Oh,
that was just
yeah.
a fun
Okay,
line to say. I don't know
I
why, but
know so many people in this server just fall head over heels with that one. That one was the fall of so many fans. And I don't know, Kirlet? Kirlet is not
Brash
here,
kid
damn
fight
it.
me.
Yeah, funny enough, that was the phrase that made me want to punch like Brass in the face.
Oh, and I know I
With that one, I was
have
like,
no doubt. I have no doubt that was the case for a lot of people. I think that's kind of why it was one of the fun lines. Because, like I said, it's fun to voice those villains because you get to say things
So
that you can't normally say. Those things like that would something you'd never say to a girl, like "Here, kitty, kitty." So, so not
yeah,
without
funny.
at least expecting getting.
Yeah, the thing is, most people here just fall in love with Brass in there, so don't
Mhm.
expect common
I
sense on
don't
this
know
place.
if in love, but okay. I mean, yeah, it was very interesting and sort of like way out of left field because we were at that moment we were literally in a prison, and then this weird voice just comes into, and it's not weird as in the voice, just like in the context of the moment.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
But then he gave us like a muffin or something, and I just completely trusted him after that point.
Oh,
It's all
I
about the muffin.
didn't. I literally didn't. It caused the total opposite effect on me. I wanted to throw the muffin on his face.
Yeah, no,
just took
I
it
made it
off.
my personal mission to sass the shit out of Brash throughout the entire game.
I know. I watched a lot of your playthrough after the game came out, so I could hear
Wait,
when.
what?
What?
What do you
Oh my! Yeah, we
Well,
didn't
after the
notice.
game came out, I wasn't gonna play it, and just because I didn't have the time, and I don't play a whole lot of PC games and whatnot, and so I wanted to hear the game in or hear Brash in context and check it out and see what the game looked like and stuff, and so I went to YouTube and punched up Demon Heart and yeah, Wyvern was one of the first ones, and I
Oh
remember
my
cracking
god!
up so
Oh,
much
no.
listening to her
Killed
going,
Wyvern.
"Fight me, fight me, fight me," and oh man, I had so much
I
fun
have to
listening to her
send the
reactions to
cleaners
Brash.
after you now.
Oh, yeah, you have uncovered the truth.
Oh, it cracked
Excuse
me
me
up.
while I go have an internal crisis.
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't be. It was awesome. It was so much fun.
No, it's just I didn't expect that you watched it. I didn't expect that many people watched it.
Well, now you
Wait,
know. The
you're
man
like the
himself did.
iconic. Wyvern, you're like the iconic Rebel Bright. I mean, come on.
Okay, you're probably not wrong.
Probably you're super iconic. Come on. You think Rebel Bright, and you don't even think him Bright. You just think Wyvern.
Oh god.
Okay,
Is
so
it
another
Wyvern or Wyvern?
question. Another
Yeah.
question I have is, can you sing?
Ugh, I cannot sing. Not at least not in a way that anybody wants to hear. No.
Oh god. Okay, so I guess like asking you for a sample is out of the question then.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that. Nobody wants.
Wait, how about an old sea shanty? Shanty? Is that how it's called?
What'd you
Like
say? An
a
old sea
pirate
shanty?
Shanty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shanty.
Oh gosh, no, I don't. No, you don't want me singing that.
Country roads. People is asking you to sing country roads.
Country roads.
Please do it.
If I do sing, I have to do it in like a goofy voice.
That's
And
fine.
it's the only so
That's totally fine.
country
totally
road. Oh, take me home to the place where I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home.
Oh, that's
All
great.
you're gonna get.
Beautiful.
This is gold. This is gold. Oh god. I'm throwing myself like I'm stopping myself from laughing because I'm with the mic open and I don't want to kill everyone here, but this is really good.
Man, can someone make that into a ringtone, please?
Oh gosh.
That would be so funny.
That would be awful.
Well, but anyway, just also recovering from a cold, so let's not push it too much as well. Just remember that.
Yeah, I'm almost
after
there.
like
I'm
10
almost there.
requests. No, you should take a break.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, anytime you want to leave, because this is going like an hour and a half already. So if you had enough, that's totally fine as well.
After an hour, it's like, yeah, you should take a break. And after like 20 requests, I don't know.
Yeah, requests. Yeah.
Then yeah, that like now you're telling him to take a break.
That's
Listen, you're
alright.
surrounded by a bunch of brash fangirls. They will take full advantage of you.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, basically, I keep trying to be like your seal, kind of, because if not, I know this will never stop. I'm trying to protect him, okay?
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't realize what time it was. I should probably get going. I have family
Okay,
things to
yeah,
get ready for Easter
that's true.
and all that.
Oh, that's true as well. Easter holidays.
Thank you.
Adult,
That's right.
adult things to do.
I know
Yes.
adulting sucks.
Ugh,
I
sickening.
know. I don't want to go to work for a 12-hour. Take it
Well,
away.
I'm going to work
Yes.
tomorrow as well, and I'm not looking forward to it either.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well,
Anyway, thank you so much for coming here, Jonathan.
No, absolutely. My pleasure. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it has
Happy
been
Easter.
it has been
Happy
great
Easter
to be
to you.
talking with you.
Yeah, thanks.
Holy shit, it is Easter, isn't it?
Yeah, it is Easter.
today.
Surprise!
Listen, I work night shift. My days are all the same now.
Oh, yeah, you don't know what day it is.
That's true. I mean, I work in customer service, so I know. Like, I don't know what bank holidays are anymore. I just work every day, so.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for doing this, Jonathan. We appreciate it. I'm sure
Yeah,
all
no, it's
of
wonderful.
my server is going to die at a fire now because they're just so happy.
Yes, I'm sure as soon as we leave from this chat, we are just going to go and scream together about how great this was.
Oh, well,
Probably.
don't hurt each other, okay?
No, it's fine. We
no.
won't. We unite together in the love for this.
Oh my god.
Well, but yes, thank you.
Alright.
Thank you very much. Okay,
Yeah, of
so I'm
course.
going to
You're welcome.
disconnect now because if not, I'm just going to be stuck in a loop. Oh, thank you so much. So yeah, for one last time, thank you for coming here, and yeah, this was a really really good time. So bye bye now.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
Alright. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.